get started here. Our first story is going to be as a player I want to start the game. So if you just joined, this might sound like, hey, I already can do this. What we're doing is a bit of a rewrite of our system and architecture of how this is going to work. And I think that we're going to just take the time to also do the same thing on the front end for this. One thing I want to try is this workspace. There's this idea that we can add a folder to a workspace. I want to try this out. So this is going to be the Deca Simulator front end. If I put that in here, you're still going to work Rust Analyzer. Because like this was the big problem that we had before when we try it. So here I have the two like just complete different code bases. We have the back end and the front end. Can I rename this? No. Okay, cool. And now in this one, I can actually just close you. Let's actually exit you. Close out of view, and then we're gonna open up you. So this is the front end. This is the front end. So if I just open up, let's say the README. How do I open up a terminal for that other thing? Okay, open up the terminal here, and we need to make sure that you are Ubuntu. Oh, there it goes. Okay, Ubuntu, and it tells me I want to open up there. So that way I have Rust and our Ubuntu. We can then do a serve and get that going. Everything here together. All right, I think we're about ready. You can close all these off. Well, okay, never mind. Don't want to close those off. Apparently I can't close one window and like just have a dummy window open. That would be nice, but I guess not. So we're gonna leave that over there. Okay, so as a player, I want to start a game. So in our front end here, we have this ability to create a game here. I actually want to like do a little bit of sort of like updating of this, where we have this like Deca card simulator. I do want like a bar up at the top. It's not going to be a nav bar, although some people like can use them as nav bars. I just want something to separate that title out. I think it'll be a lot nicer. So if we go to our MWC, do I actually, yeah, right here. Interior Web Components. I actually really like this library a lot. We want bottom, no, not a bottom app bar. It's a tab bar, top app bar. This is what I want. I'm gonna install you. So let's split. So we're going to do a cargo. No, we're just going to paste this in. We're going to install the top app bar, and then using it is pretty simple. I don't need all of this other stuff. I'm really just going to be using it to get this title in here. So it's going to be basically this entire thing. So I'm going to copy you, and I'm going to create source components, a top app bar. Maybe like just a top bar. view. I mean, shouldn't you be able to tell me? Oh, there it goes. Template. Paste you all in here. I don't think I need anything else necessarily. You're probably going to be yelling at me a lot, and then we're going to go back into the main app. Pull this in. And then this where like we have this H1, I want to put the top bar right here. Okay, that was pretty good. Okay, so we have title there. That's not super helpful. Also, do I have errors? I do. I have 5 errors. That's nice. Unum counts, custom errorment, MDC, top app bar. Okay, so we need to register that too. Wait, do I? Oh, I don't need to register it. I need to pull it in. So we need a script. Forgot. That's not how. I might need, no, I think what I need to do is, I don't need to do another export default. Thank you, Copilot. But I need to do a import. That's going to be the MWC top app bar. That's what I need to do. And then this should work. There we go. So here's our top app bar. This is huge because I'm on 200%. This is what it normally looks like, but I'm gonna make it nice and big for us. And we need to go look at the documentation for it. I only care about this title here. I don't need this like button. I don't need any of these buttons. Just the title. So you go away. You go away. So it's just the title. Okay. And then the other thing is I need to center. I want to center it. And I know I can do that with a center title on the top app bar itself. And there we go. So this is going to become Deck of Cards Simulator. We can actually pull that in. So let's actually do props. Export default, props. Okay, that's mostly good. And for the props, we want not center title, probably just title. It's gonna be a string. And you are gonna be the title. Okay, then we're gonna head over to app, top bar. We're gonna give it, okay, that's not bad, but I don't really need to have it be bound. And you're gonna be the Deck of Cards Simulator. Okay, so that gives us that look. And then I think to make this a link back to like the main like outs, I don't know if we need a link to the outside of the game because we're eventually going to have an exit. that we could put up here. I don't know if it's that necessary. I actually don't know. We might eventually just have this be on the left. And then we can have like exit and like the room number on the right. I actually kind of like that. So I'm just gonna make this not center title anymore. Yeah, and then we're gonna have like the room code here. All right. So I'll figure that out. Well, we know we're gonna have room code and like an exit button. So I think there's a way for me to do a slot. And I think, let's see. Don't remember if it has to go inside of here. Because if I say like another div, I just say test. Yeah, that shows up below this entire thing. So I actually need to do that all inside of here. Or documentation. Like these are buttons and they're showing, oh, because there's these slots for like navigation icon. Okay. So like slot for navigation icon is think is right, is this one, right? So action items. Okay, so there's a slot action item, so we can just throw things into there. So if I do that, let's say I do, that's an interesting idea, but no, don't care about that. Slot equals items, but test here. There. Now test shows up way off to the right, way too far off to the right. That's like hanging off the edge. Yeah, no matter what the size is, that's not what I want. So you're going at 1088 and you are 1088. So I'm probably going to want to limit your width just a little bit. Can I do that in app here? And I say we want this top bar. We have the title, and then I want, maybe this is going to be the top bar. Okay. And then here, I don't think I want display flex. I think I want to just make sure we set margin to 0. Or maybe we want margin right. Be like 1 rem. Oh, cool. That doesn't do anything for us. So is it you that we need to put this on? No? Okay. Oh, it's right, because it's like in this shadow. I keep on forgetting that like the shadow root stuff is a thing. So when using actual true web components, the shadow root often comes into play, which is interesting. So I would need to figure out, and there's ways for me to do this, to essentially have. Let's see. Okay, so dense, we can make it dense. Okay. CSS custom properties. So I think what we can do is come back to here and do this. And I want to say with, oh, okay, wait, that's not a property of that. That's something else. Top bar, is this it? No, it's not gonna be this. It's gonna be in here. We can have a style. I think we have to put in a class on this, or maybe I don't. Okay, top app bar. Then throw you in there. Yeah, sure. Let's try 200 pixels. Let's see what that looks like. That didn't do anything. Oh, that did something. Okay. So I want to be like 95 view width. Maybe even like 99. Maybe like 98. It's not perfect on each side. But it's probably close enough that like the eye won't tell right away. Okay, so that gives us like, that's a way to hook into that web component so we can see this. And then if I want to like make this clickable to like take us back, which I don't want, but then here we can throw things into here as we need them. So these action items will then be able to update that. So I am going to just comment you out so I can use you later. This can go away now. So in app, we have this H1, you go away. Okay. All right, next up. What was I saying? I want to start a game. Okay, so we're gonna create a game. So when I press create a game, I want it to also like take us to the game. So what does this look like? This is, I guess these are not steps. I don't need to like edit those. Okay, we have our connection. That's all good. I do want to be able to put in my name. I would like this name to like look a little bit better and probably put this up at the top. So can I change the order of these? So we're gonna go into home. So we have this create game. That's our custom button. We want the name here to go up top. Can I make this like longer and in a center? I think there is a way for me to center these things. I think I can do like this section. So I can do a section. Sure, we can display flex, then everything will be, oh, sort of. And then we want to center everything. Flex direction column. Sure, let's try it. You're not, that's not really what I really want. I want, I think it's the justify content center. But I don't think that's going to do anything until I tell you. Okay, so that's that section. And that's that thing. Okay, here's our MDC text field. There's the div for this. Okay, so for this div, do I have to also give it a width of like, I don't know, 50 rem? No. Okay, so that's not going to work. This section, make this bigger so you can see. Oh, this section is display block. I thought this was a flex. Okay, that's a thing. We can remove you now, right? Yeah, okay. So this section, which is this section right here, I believe. I can just double check it by giving it a class of home. Yeah, okay, so here's this class home. We want it to be display flex. All of this stuff, the flex direction column, justify content center. That's sort of working. Do I need to give you a width? No, that won't make you go into the center. None of those will make you go into the center. What was it? Is it justify items, not content? No, not that either. Is it the thing? Is it this div that we need to do this on? Do we need to tell you to somehow like justify self? Center. Okay, so like this div sees that its width is the entire 100% of the width. Okay, that's fine. This we see is like that size. So we kind of want you to justify. Oh, do you need to be display, flex, justify content, center? That's what it is. Okay, so this div here, right here, is going to be our class equals center this. So we have a center, display flex, not flex direction, but a justify content center. Okay, so that gives us that. Then we have our create game, and then our room code with the join with room code, and I want these to also be centered. So we're just going to come up to this div here. And we're going to class center. Now they're down here. And then we have this join with room code, which is this custom button here. And so I want this join with room code to be down below it. So I'm gonna create another div here. We'll give it a class center. Move you in there. And there we go. Now we have this. And I could give a title. I think I have a title, right? That I can use. A section title. So we can pull in a section title. Wait, were you gonna figure that? Oh, you were, okay. Okay, so section class home, and then I want our section title to go here. And I think it's gonna be label. And this is gonna be enter your name. And then create or join a game. Okay, that's lovely. And then I want you to be centered also. So let's go ahead and center you. Almost as if I know what I'm doing. Almost. Like very, like, I mean, clearly not there, but. Okay, so we have this, we can then create a game. We want to put in our name. So in this, let's say Brooks, click the create game. Now we do need to like rewrite that part of the code because that's a little bit different. So this gets, this event for creating a game gets bubbled all the way up to our store. And then we can go to our index. And it's eventually going to hit the create game. This create game here. Now we're going to create this message, and I think what we really want to do is like have some kind of have a function that we can use to create the message. Because I don't know exactly where to put that right now, I'm gonna just put that down here. We can just do this. I can't add methods to this, unfortunately. That would be really nice, but I can't. And actions can't return anything, so I just have to create like a function. So function, create message. Oh, look at this. Okay, so it's trying to do all of this stuff. So then we're gonna have the action is gonna be, oh, it's not. It's just an action like that. So we're gonna switch this over to action. Do I want to turn this into a class? But I don't know if I want to because that might end up accidentally making a singleton. I don't want to do that. So I want to do, I do want a list of the possible actions up here so I can't screw that up. So let's do, I guess it'll just be actions. So we're gonna have a create game. And you're just gonna be the string create game, which is gonna be matching what we have in a backend for the action there. So this way, I can then say for you, okay, create game. So our message is going to be create message. Our action is going to be state.actions.create game. And that gives us this message, which is an action. And then we can send this down here. I wonder if I want to treat this like an API. It feels a little bit weird because it's like WebSocket. Like WebSockets are still using HTTP behind the scenes, but it's also like so different to have to think about it. It probably is clear. I haven't worked with WebSockets very often. Just sort of like toy little gap games and apps and that kind of stuff. Never in a real project. If I were to create an actual API, I want to experiment with that. What I would normally do is I would probably just create in. I don't know if I need to create it in the store. I don't know where I would put it, so I'm just gonna put it in source for right now. I would create an API.js and have this be like just a full JavaScript file. And then I would create this as a const API equals an object, and then we'll just be updating and mutating this object. I don't think I need to make this a full class. We're gonna export default API. And then in the store, we're gonna import this. And so the idea here is that for creating a game, I could then just say, hey, you create the game. And then it would take care of creating the message for me and figuring all of that stuff out. I kind of like that. So let's to this API, let's add a create game method. So a create game. Now we're gonna have to take in the WebSocket. But then I think we can create the. We're gonna take in the WebSocket. And then we're gonna create the message from this. So also part of this, we probably want like the list of actions to be in here, which means those actions don't need to be in this store. So cut you out. We'll throw you in here. So in create game, we're gonna create our message first. I think I can use this for this. I always forget. This dot actions dot create game. Oh, and it's not quite that simple. Hold on. It's gonna be action is then there we go. Then we're gonna WebSocket send that entire thing. And there's not really any response that I need from this. It's just gonna do its thing. So then here in create game, I'm gonna say API dot create game. What? Interesting. And we notice that create game takes in a WebSocket. So state dot WebSocket. And that's it. So that greatly simplify. It's going to greatly simplify our store. Now on our backend, we're gonna want, I don't think there is an actions that we have here. So let's it's sort of like the commands. We're gonna go to where the commands are. But this is gonna be fully changed. So I actually want to like maybe create a new file for this, and we'll end up deleting this other file as we don't need it anymore. So this will be our actions.rs. So I think this is going to be a pub enum action. And right now, create game is the only one that we need to do. But as this message is coming in, this is definitely going to have to be matched on this. I think that, let's see, in commands, yeah, we're gonna have serialize, deserialize, and debug. So let's just go ahead and derive all of these things. I wonder if you're gonna be able to figure out what I want to do here. So if I say, oh, that would have been cool if it like suggested that because I had just copied it. Okay, so for you, pull you in. Oh, you can't pull it in automatically. So we're gonna use, this is Serde. Oh, okay. You figured that out. Nice. Okay. So we could now get this going. We're gonna have like the incoming message come in. We want it to be an action instead of a command. So also, what are you upset about? Right, I'm not doing that right now. If I need to, like, I'll break out the complexity of create message. Okay, so we've got that. We have message. Okay, so here's our incoming message. Now, I think the other thing that we decided here in our README is that our message is going to end up being the same, right? We're just going to have this message data, and that's where we're going to have like all these options. But the message itself is going to be this with the action and then this message data. So that's going to be greatly simplified as well. Okay, so to sort of like set ourselves up for success, let's come into our main library here, and for each of you, okay, so we need to process these messages. I'm just gonna comment you out, and then the rest of it is like we don't need to worry about. Now it's gonna yell at us because we're not using anything anymore. Let's see. So we convert the message. I kind of want to like handle the message separately now. Like just maybe convert this message and then handle this and then like handle message there with our readme. Did we have this idea of a main state? We did. Okay. So I think what we can do is reset our main state a little bit. This is going to change. Let's not do all of these. Okay, so we do the new wrapped. All of these are pretty much going to go away and get rewritten. So basically we're gonna get our main state. We're gonna lock our main state, unwrap it, and that's gonna get our state. So here we have that. And I suppose we want to then just immediately handle the message and pass it in this message, which is a type message, where is that? Oh, it's just this type that's in here. It's a tungstenite protocol message. So in main state, handle incoming message. We're going to take a mute self, and we're going to take in the message, which is going to be this message. Right, which is this tungstenite message, okay. And we're probably going to return a result, and that'll be that. That's a long list. It is a long list, although it's kind of like cut down. So there's only 10 items on it, but yeah, we're not going to get through it today. Also, hello Chantilly. So here, let's debug this message coming in. Make sure that everything is working just fine. It is not. I've got an error somewhere. Okay, so this is in the main library. We have, handle connection. So we have this entire add client. I don't know if I want to do that here. This is just, see, where does this come from? This is the handle connection. We have the main state coming in, the raw stream, okay. So then, okay, this is the broadcast incoming. So we need to send, okay. I don't know if this is gonna store. I then want you here. Let's make you a little bit bigger. Okay, so WebSocket server listening here. You can't compile yet. That's not great. Can't resolve ./API. That is in the index in the store. We have this import API from, oh, it's /API. Okay, here we go with this. Let's look at our console. Okay. If I just say hi and then create the game, this should send a message down. Can I actually see that in the network? I've always been curious. Okay, so can I reset? I don't know if this is sending the message. All right, let's go find that in the API. Is this actually happening? So sending create game message. Yeah, so okay, sending create game message. So that did send down. Now, in the main library, okay, so broadcast, wait, so this is the broadcast incoming equals, so WebSocket in, so we get this receiver here from Unbounded. Okay. Broadcast either the WebSocket in, which is this. Okay, WebSocket in comes from WebSocket.split. WebSocket itself comes from this async tungstenite accept async, the raw stream. Okay, so we go through here. Unbounded is where we're just creating some new channels. They're not being used yet. Okay, then we split this and we get WebSocket out, WebSocket in. We then WebSocket in dot try filter. So we try to get the message from the WebSocket in. If it's a close, try for each, get this message. Oh, look at this. We're not using this message. That could be a problem. We need to actually handle the message, right? So we need to state.handle message, pass that message. You are upset. So main state. Oh, handle incoming message. There we go. And then we'll go ahead and unwrap you. Okay, that should be better. So, hi, and there we go. Okay, so now we get our incoming message here, and we see that it's this action with a create game. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is convert this into the actual object it is. So in our main state, we want to then say, let incoming message is going to be a type of, and now this should just be a message, right? So this should be a, like a custom, I think we named this like custom message in the README here. or like the message wrapper or something like that. I don't know if what I want to call it. Custom message is probably good enough. But we want to create this, and it's going to be this action and data. Which means we can come here to message, and we're just going to create a new one in here and eventually delete these other ones. Because it's going to be slightly different, and we have some code that's relying upon these, and I don't necessarily want to have to deal with them yet. That being said, if I come here and I like just remove a bunch of these, like actions we care about here. If I just remove you, then we have actions, main state, message, and that's it. Oh, because like you're needing all of these things. Okay, so take care of you, debug message. Well, okay, yes, I know. Okay, so you're fine. And then we can just delete the command. Okay, then message here is going to be completely changed. In fact, we may not need like any of this anymore. Even if we do, I want to change it to be more of like a proper builder pattern. So let's go ahead and just like reset you. And I don't need, we're just gonna reset ourselves in here, and we're gonna start with a, let's see. Use crate. I need you. Not gonna need you here. Okay. Warnings, just all these things not being used. Sure, let's just get rid of all of you, and then we'll have it'll bring these in as we need them. So just getting rid of all of our warnings. So handle incoming message. We're about to do that here. We'll just leave our debug. Struct, an unknown word. A struct isn't struct. That's a real word. Light sky blue, unknown word. Sure. Text field. Okay. There we go. Okay, so all of the Rust warnings are taken care of now. Okay, so let's go ahead and just like close all these up and reset ourselves a little bit. Keep on forgetting that I can't do that if I want to keep that open. Okay, so we want to start the game. We need to set ourselves up in message. We have one. We have a message right here. So we're gonna do a pub struct. We're gonna have to do this as like a custom message because we already have a tungstenite message. The person who made your coffee today must have been feeling some kind of way. She made it extra bitter. Oh no! How do you make coffee extra bitter? Like, is that just over or under like brewing it? Like, I don't drink coffee, so I don't know. Like, so in tea, if I had black tea to make it bitter, I would just over brew it for too long. but then it would become really, really strong. And it'd be like the longer you brew it, isn't the longer you brew it, the more caffeine gets into it too? Or am I just not correct at all on that? Okay, so for our custom message, we're gonna have the action, and that's gonna be a string. Like that absolutely must be here. So we are going to have to derive. Let's debug, deserialize and serialize. That's fine. Wait. Yeah, there we go. And then we have to use Serde. So using GitHub Copilot is like a really like energetic like pair programmer who has no idea what they're doing. And it's like, oh, do you want this? I found this. This is a good match, right? And it's like, no, you're really close, but no, not at all. And then sometimes it works really well, but most of the time it's just like has no clue what it's doing. And it's just like, it's just randomly throwing stuff out. The shorter the coffee brews, the more caffeine because heat destroys it. Cold brew coffee has the most caffeine because it uses no heat to brew it, so no caffeine has been removed. Oh, that's interesting. Does if you don't brew the beans, like if you don't roast the beans, do you get even more caffeine? Or is it like some other things where heat activates the caffeine and like makes it available? Okay, so we're gonna have this custom message string. Let's then head over into main state. And so then here, what I want to do is turn this in to our message. So we want to say let this is going to be maybe like a raw message. I want to do message, which is going to be of a type custom message equals JSON Serde JSON from string. Okay, close. From string. And I think this raw message dot to text dot unwrap, and I think it's just that. Okay, then the unwrap again, but I might be able to just do a question mark here. Oh, from stir. Which means this probably needs to be to text gives me, oh, a stir. Yes, okay. Place you with a question mark too. Okay, I think this is gonna work for it. Then reset our connection, create. Okay, so we have our action, create the game. That gets sent down. Hello, Zilby. How are you doing? You want to hang out there? Okay. Let's get you a camera. Cat cam. And immediately ignoring the place where the camera is pointed at. That sounds like a cat. Okay, you want to hang out over there? Let's see. If I put this in, it's going to be too disruptive. Oh, like literally. Okay, you can't see that. 1 second. Don't get here. Okay. Around. Oh man. Okay, now the cables are all messed up. You hang precariously on this lamp. And then cam again. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we have the create game. The other thing that we know is we need to send this name back down. And so that means the message data, right? So we have the custom message, then we have a pub struct message data. And then you're going to be data is going to be this message data, which means that you also need to derive all these things. So debug, serialize and deserialize, okay? And then inside of here, we're gonna want the name, right? So like what your name is. Name is gonna be an option with a string inside. And I think that's what we had decided from in the README, right? Oh, like player name. But I think name, well, we should say player name because it could be card name too. So just to be explicit, and explicit is never bad. So we'll have player name, and that's gonna be the option of a string because it's not always gonna be sent in. So when we send this back, we also wanna make sure that our front end is sending this back. So in our view here, in view X, if I just say X, load the state, there it is. Okay, so it's in the name. But that tells me we need to send this back here. So in our API, we also need to take in the name. And we're essentially going to have data. And then this is going to be, their name is going to be name. Oh, you're figuring it out. Cool. So now player name is none. Okay. So I wanted to send this in. Oh, player name is none because that was undefined. We need to go find where this is being used and actually send this in. So under actions here for create game, state that WebSocket, and then also state dot name. No, not any of that. There. There we go. Okay, so action is create the game, and then the data is this message data, which has my player name in it. Awesome. Data Science with Daniel is raiding with a party of 2. Welcome, Daniel and viewers. What are you working on today? Data science-y stuff, I would assume. And how is your stream? Redoing a website using React. Oh, nice. How are you enjoying React? Got some pages built and new functionality up. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, like getting those type of things going with like web development is always fun. Cause like there's so like good instant feedback is great. Well, we are doing, it's really tough. I am more of a Python user and there's lots of little fiddly things to do. That is true. React, well, the front end frameworks, like there is just like a little, I don't know what to say, like how to say it, but there's a lot of little things that you pick up over the years that then you forget about, that you just like have to get used to and do for like the front end framework type stuff. And like React makes you do all the work yourself. So there's that too, which is both like, in my opinion, it's really good and like also not fun. It's like a combination of both. It's weird. You forget every week and Google the same stuff all the time. You'll probably get it eventually, or it won't, and it won't matter because you'll be done with it and you won't have to worry about it again. Either way, it'll be good, right? What we're working on here today, how am I finding Copilot? It's interesting. It's right now I would say it's sort of like pair programming with somebody who doesn't know programming at all. So not even like a junior programmer. Like you're pair programming with somebody who has not even like I saw one person compare it to like somebody's looking at Stack Overflow. No, it's not even like that. It's like somebody who has just like random code, like sample snippets up, and they're constantly giving you suggestions that make no sense whatsoever, but every once in a while, it works. Insert the typical rap dev response because React is not a framework. That is true. That is true. Now, I can see that it's gonna get good. Like, it's gonna figure out coding type stuff, but it's like learning across all of GitHub, which there's a lot of bad code across like GitHub. There's good code too, but like, I can't imagine, like, it's really hard for me to imagine. Well, okay, I don't know AI well enough to know if this training material is gonna be a problem. It's literally tossing poo at the wall and sees what sticks, kind of. And it's using me to like determine whether or not it's a good suggestion. And the problem is because I'm not doing just like little toy algorithms, I'm doing something like real that's building. Even if it's like just a little tiny bit off, I'm kind of not accepting it. Which, yeah, that low quality work code actually works sometimes. That is a problem. Ironically, it's a problem. Okay, so what we are doing today is we are building a deck of cards simulator, and I've kind of like wrecked everything because we're cleaning the house and doing a lot of refactoring / rewriting on the back end. So right now I've got it so I can put in my name and I can hit create game and we get this message in the back end. This is going to be a real a multiplayer system. So we've got a WebSocket server written in Rust running on the same system here, and a completely separate Vue application that is our front end. And they're going to be separately deployed, and everything is going to be great. We've got the WebSocket, system is all set up for us, which is great. And we can send this command or this action back along with our name. So what I need to do is I need to now store this and like create the room. because that was our big thing. Is right now we are, as a player, want to start a game. So I want to create a room. We actually had created what this is going to look like here. So we're going to have our main state. We need to create a room here. Give it an ID. And then have the players. Then I guess I create a player and then insert that. So there's a lot of things that happens at this point in time. So looks like right now we need like this rooms, which is gonna be an empty vector. Well, room, we need then the struct room. But to do that, we need a card and a player. So card, then card suite and card value. So, and then player. Okay, so then just lots of things coming down from this. Player needs card 2 for the hand. So it looks like card is going to be the first thing we're going to make here. So we're going to dive in to create a lot of code without being able to test it properly until it fully works. Unless I could ignore some of these things. I might be able to do that. Let's try that out. So okay, we're going to create a room first. So now we have this room here. I think we're going to be resetting this a little bit. And in our lib, let's bring this back in. Yeah, so like here's an example. So like I finish this, press space. Okay, so it knows that I want to create this as room. That's great. It very rarely closes the brackets. So which is a problem. Okay. So we want to create this. We know the rooms are going to need an ID and the players, but we don't have the card or players, but ID we can do. So we're going to have an ID, which let's just make that a U8. We're going to make this a 4 digits, U32. Or I can make it a string. I'm thinking U32, and it can be a random number between 1,000 and 9,999. Okay, so here, will you figure this out? See, like, look at this. It's like, okay, no, that's not helpful. Ample, there you go. We need rooms really unique later on, like a UUID. I'm hoping not, but then it should be pretty simple for me to switch the ID to be a UUID later. But right now, I'm just gonna have this be like a 4-digit code that we can then if you just send that in, that's the ID that you get. So do pub function new. We're not gonna take in an ID. We're gonna turn a self. So we need to pull in rand here. So let mute RNG equals no. Well, that's interesting, but no. We want this to be thread range. I mean, that's an interesting idea, but no, not exactly. But close. So this is gonna be RNG.gen range. And our range is gonna be between 1,000 and 9,999. Okay, so that gives me that. And then we can return a self with the ID. Okay, so then we're going to head back to our main state. And we're going to have rooms. I had it right in a return. Yeah, that's true. It had it right on a return. And I didn't accept it because I didn't I guess I didn't want to do like ID:ID because that's not right. But you're right. I probably should have like given the feedback. Yeah, that's fine, and then let Rust Analyzer / Clippy refactor that to be like Rust. Okay, you want to store messages. It's not exactly right. We're gonna have store rooms, but that is correct. A vec of rooms, which means when a new wrapped, we want to do self default. Well, actually, that should be fine. But this room, we need to import room. Okay. Oh, room doesn't implement debug, so we need to go drive debug. Okay, so then you're happy here. Then when we handle the incoming message, so we probably can match on the actions of this message. So we can do message dot. Ooh, look at this. That's I'll do a match on message dot action that's private. Okay, so we need to head into custom message and make you public. Wait, what are you? Action is a string. Oh, I don't want action to be a string, do I? I want it to be like an action. Do I have like a... Yeah, create actions action. I want that. Okay. Now I can fill mash arms. Now we can say, okay, it's going to be this create game. And we can debug. Create a game. I mean, I don't want to return anything. That wasn't, that was Rust Analyzer, not the other thing. I think at this point I can just replace it with the use, and there we go. Yeah, that was Rust Analyzer. It tends to be doing that, like the fill match arms is doing that recently. Okay, so now let's go ahead and see what we got here. Server connection. All right, so creating a game, we that actually came in, and we see that. So perfect. Okay, so if we're creating this game at this point in time, we need to create a new room and push it into this vector. So we're gonna say, okay, this is cool. Let room equals room new, but we don't close, but like room doesn't take anything. So room equals room. Oh, look at that. It's there we go. Okay, so create a new room, and then self dot rooms dot push room. Okay. So by the end of this, we should have a new room inside of here. And we should have the ID of the room too. So how do I want to do this? I probably actually don't want to do all of this code in here because there's going to be a lot of things. I kind of want to like dispatch that to something like this, right? We're going to have maybe like a handle create room. Don't necessarily need to do all this stuff. Don't need to do like the result like that. Let's just like reset this. We're gonna have all of this stuff happens inside of here. Oh, wait, it got that. Well, I mean, that makes sense. This is probably one of the most common returns. Okay, so then here, we're gonna do a self.handle create room. Okay, so at the end of this handle incoming message, I would expect that we can, we should be able to debug. I want to debug. Can I just debug self? And sort of like see what this looks like. So our main state has a rooms with a room ID of 7739. Okay, perfect. I then want to send a message back to this like individual saying like the room has been created. However, we can only do that if I created like if we created a player and then we stored that player. So we also need to create a player. So I think we may have to do this as a multi-line here. So we're gonna handle create of the room, and now we need to create the player, which means we need a player, and I don't think we have a player at all. Now inside of here, it's not bad, but it can't be a static str. We're probably just going to store like the name as just a normal string. So I don't know if you need to be public. So we just say name is a string. There we go. And then we're going to have a sender. So a sender is going to be this sender right here. So it's an unbounded sender. Now this has like a message that goes inside of it. And I guess that should probably be, that's probably fine. It's probably fine. So unbounded sender with a tungstenite message that goes inside of it. And then outside of this, like we're gonna have hand and other stuff. Oh, no, can't do that. So we're gonna import player. Wait. Oh, that's too bad. I hit tab and it didn't actually like insert that in, which is too bad. I think it was in the middle of like doing the snippet and trying to like do the CodePilot. So that was a VS Code bug there, not a CodePilot bug. Okay, so hub function new. We're gonna have to take in a name. And the sender. Which is this unbounded sender message. And we're gonna return, I mean, so this is correct, but it would be really nice if it learned that this should actually, like, that's a little bit more appropriate. And then we can just do self name. We have to owned this. Is it cloned? Oh, name toString. Oh, that's fine. And then our sender. And we're going to return that. Oh, right. Name is. There you go. Now we can do toOwned. In all fairness, returning self is newer. All the old code bases use the explicit type. Oh, really? Okay. I guess like I kind of missed that time frame. Okay, so we did this. Now we know we're gonna have to implement debug. So let's just go ahead and derive debug. And okay, then at this point in time, we're gonna need to create the player. Then we're gonna add the player to the room. So we're gonna have like create the room. So maybe we should like rename this. So like this doesn't need to be handle create room. This is like actually just create the room. We need to create the player. If we're gonna create the player, we also need the sender at this point in time. So we need a sender. Oh, okay, so you're an unbounded sender. Message inside. Which means in a library. Here is the sender. You go right here. Wait. Why are you still unhappy? Oh, cannot move out, but we can clone this at this point in time. Because senders can be always cloned. Receivers, not always, depending upon what library you're using. Okay, so then here, we can now, under create game, create the player. So, player equals player. New, and then that's not exactly right. Okay, so we need the name, which we can get out of this message. Message.data. So right now it's this message dot. Oh, the message doesn't have. Okay, so hold on. Message, you need to be public too. Which means you need to be public in here too. Now, how do I want to handle errors that like bubble all the way back up? if I think I want to do something like let player name equal to close. It's going to be message dot data dot player name dot expect, and then our message can be no, I don't want this to be an expect, do I? I want to actually like send up an error in the case it doesn't work. Hello, viable clan member. Am I a co-pilot? No, I'm the pilot. However, I do have a co-pilot today. We have the GitHub Copilot. The icon that they're using is a little bit weird, but it's cool. It's interesting. I wonder if I want to like, do I want like a lens to like get, or it throws an error? The video for this AI is great, very lifelike. I actually never watched the trailer video. I sort of like skipped watching that and just like signed up as soon as it came in. Let's try to make this a little bit simpler here. Let's import for message data. I want a lens here. So pub function get player name. Close. I don't want it to be an option. I want this to be a result. Self. And in here, this can actually be, we want this to be a result, an error result with a stir inside. It looks like a frog wearing a monocle. It does indeed, yes. Which is interesting because isn't GitHub is a squid, right? It's like a squid cat. Or an octocat. It's an octopus with a cat in it. Okay, so then give this okay, so if let some player name equals self-play. Okay, so this is not bad. So then inside of here, we want to return okay player name. All right. I guess this could be a string here. That might be better. Okay, then if we have an else, I want to bail. And our bail message is going to be player name doesn't exist. Yes, stacking is correct. I have two workspaces in this VS Code instance. So one being the front end and one being the back end. They're two completely separate repositories. Okay, so if we do that, then you should be happy. Okay, so self.player name. This doesn't need to be public anymore. Move out, which is behind a shared reference. Oh, okay. So actually do want this. Then you can be a stir again. And we're fine. Okay. Workspaces have been buggy for me in the past when I tried to use multiple Rust workspaces together. So maybe this is gonna be better. But like we only have two things in here. So we're okay for so far. Is HTML inside of Rust called RSX? Somebody should make one. Somebody should make like a library for that. with like with an RSX macro. No, it's just called WebAssembly. Wait, isn't the WebAssembly the JavaScript though? We should name it Assembly Web for maximum confusion. Okay, so get player name. We're gonna head back over into the main state here. So, okay, here we can now do message.data dot get player name, and then, okay. Oh wait, no, I'm so sorry. There we go. Now we can extract that out with our question mark, and now we have this player name, which now, you want the player name in here? That's exactly what that is. Oh, and we need to send the sender in too. So, and the sender goes in. I do have today off. I have today off. My company took this as a holiday as well as Monday. So it's a super long weekend for me. So pretty awesome. I do have some things to do in town, so I can't stream all the way until 12. I can stream until 10. So we got like another hour and 10 minutes or so to go. WebAssembly, but no DOM. Lol. Yeah, exactly. Create. That's a perfect crate name. All right. Let's see what we're doing. Then we get this player. How Midwest of you when you have to say you're going? Oh, in 1 hour and 10 minutes. So it's 8:48 a.m. for me right now. So at 10 o'clock, I have to sort of wrap up, and then I'm heading out at like 10:45. So it gives me a little bit of time. Oh, going in town. Oh, okay. That's true. That is true. Okay, so player. It's also like, wee, jokes go over my head. Okay, so we created this player now. I want to now add the player to this room. So we want to create a room, and let's like actually just pass this player in, which means in here, we're going to take like the first player. So player is a player. We'll take ownership of it, which means that now for rooms, I want to, for a room, have the players inside of there. So for a README, we're going to have players as a vec of players in the room. So let's open up room. So we're going to have players is a vec of player. That's fine, but we do need to import you. So we're going to bring in the player here. Hey, look at that. Okay, that's pretty good. And we'll store players in. One pro of living on the East Coast is everything you need in a 10-minute walking distance. The downside, the cost of living. I mean, you can say exactly the same thing for the West Coast too. So, it's like you live in a city in the West Coast. Oh man, everything's within 10 minutes walking distance, maybe 20. But then cost of living, it's humongous. I don't know exactly where you are, so I don't know what the cost of living. Well, I don't know if I'd know the cost of living for where you are is, even if I did know that. But yeah, Denver's cost of living has been creeping upwards recently. So we have you back to main state, and new, we're gonna give the player to the room. And then we get this, okay, push, and then we're gonna debug yourself. So we're gonna try this again. Back to here, reset our connection, create the game, and look at this. We have our rooms. So in main state, we have rooms. For the room, we have our room ID. For the players, okay, in the room, we have the players, and then here's our player with our sender, which all its fun stuff, and that's it. What is going on in Canada at the moment? So I can't say for certain. From the little news that I found, that I heard online, was that there was a unmarked grave that was found near a, was it like a re-education school? America had a ton of those in the past. Basically, the dark history of America. We opened up a bunch of these re-education schools where they put Native Americans into and try to remove their cultural history from them, so they would be more like the settlers. Re-education camps, yeah, I know. And so what they found was unmarked graves where potentially these people were not being re-educated properly, and so they just killed them, which is absolutely horrendous. Even worse, that they just dumped them into bodies. It reminds you of that video. I don't want to open that up on stream, but there's ton, yeah, dark history. It's good for us to like remember that we did that, so we could never do that again. If we forget that we did that, then we might do it again. And I do not want to be any part of that. Okay, so we save our name in here. We save our player in here. So we need to let our player know that the room has been created. So we need to send a message to this player. Now we have this player here. Now, what's the best way to do this? Probably like a broadcast to the room that we've created the room and like what the room code is. Okay, so now we gave ownership of the player away. I could implement clone on the player, and then we can like clone the player away. But there is only one player in here, so I think it actually might make sense for us to broadcast a message to the room. So let's head back into the room here. So if I have like a pub function broadcast here, broadcast to room. Not exactly. We're gonna want a mute self. But then here we can have this message. I personally prefer like my variables to be, written out if possible. But I know a lot of people have actually strong feelings about that. And this is gonna be a result with. I don't think I care about what comes back from it. I would hate the Go world. Do they basically do that all the time? Caleb Dev, hello, good morning, or afternoon, or evening. I think. Wait, Caleb, you're evening, right? Okay, so in broadcast room, we're gonna send the message in. So I want to go back to here, and we're going to, after we've created this game, I want to then do actually right here, before we even push and give, I keep on forgetting that I can't do control. Oh, you're morning. That's even later than evening. Well, good morning. So we need this to be mutable. So then we can do room dot broadcast to room, and our message is room created with ID. Actually, is this like when the room is created, it just announces to all of its members? Maybe this doesn't happen in here. Maybe it does happen inside of room here, because we have the player at this point. Oh, but we can't do that unless we did something like this. Let mute room equals self. Actually, we can just do this right here. Then I can do room dot broadcast to room, and then we can have a message. So the idiomatic go away to 2-letter variables. What? Why would you do that? In this modern day and era, if we're having a brand new language, we can handle actually, like, you know, not having to reason about and like keep in our head like a lookup table of our variables to what they really are. Okay, so then our message here is, say, like created room. If I do that, then you need to return a result with a self inside, and then you need to be an okay with a room. Okay. Okay, so broadcast to room that this is going to happen. Then we're going to want to send a message out. You know, we're going to need to take this. This should just be a string. Because then what I can do... Actually, wait a second. We need a message. So we need to update our message for this, because we're going to have the message. Okay, so custom message. We're going to have the action being set for this, and then the message data. And now in here, we're going to have the player name, and this is now going to be the room code, which is an option close. We're going to make this a U32. Let's actually change this to room ID. Send in here, all the things. Okay, so for you, you're gonna be, wait, rooms player, gonna be that. Then you'll be happy here. You be mutable because you're gonna do the thing. Okay, then we need to create the message. Yeah, that's true. Old habits do die hard. I was also thinking about, like, there's a lot of the old games from like the original Nintendo era that also had to follow like the same limitations. if any of you played the original Final Fantasy, it was like if you play even the remake of the original Final Fantasy, which I don't think a lot of people realize that they sort of like updated that to be more readable and like usable and playable. The names for everything, they just like cut off everything to fall within like the memory spaces. So it's like I don't know, it was like all of the special effects and like all the commands you can do were like just like 3 letters long. Like you could barely figure out what that was, like what each thing was. Like ATK for attack, you know, things like that. Okay, so we want the message is equal to be a custom message. Custom message, do I have? I don't have a builder for this. So custom message, do I want a builder for this where I can give it like the action? So this is that question of like, how do I want to handle like the builder for this? And I wonder if I want to do something down here like this. We can maybe make like a message builder. So do a pub struct custom message builder. And then this could hold all of these things separately. And then we'll have like a build on it. So if we have, okay, so pub action, like close, we can probably just do action is going to be an option with an action, okay. Then I think we can have data just be message data because these are all options anyways. I want to impl you, yeah. Okay, you got that right. No, not correct. So I want to do pump function new, and I don't want to do anything inside there. Oh wait, look at that! It figured out the self. Okay. So we're just gonna return. Let's derive default for each of these things. Default. Okay, hold on. There you go. Then inside of here, we can just do a self default. Okay, so that would give us that, which means back here in room, we can do a custom message new. Now for each of these, this is gonna be a custom message builder. There we go. Okay, new. Now I want to set the I want functions to be able to set each of these things. So like for the action, right? So pub function set action. I don't think I want to take in ownership of self. I think what we want to do is like a mutable reference to self. In case we want to split up our builder, because like I've noticed that sometimes we want to do that. And then here is going to be this action, which is an action. Okay, perfect. And then that's going to be that. So we're going to do self action equals some action. Okay, awesome. And then we also are going to want, in this specific case, to set the room ID. So close hub function set room ID. Okay. Self.data room ID. Oh, look at that. Look at that. That like 2 things in a row that I got correct. And then, okay, so let's now come back over here and do the thing. So I want to be able to then do set action. This is going to be action create game. Oh, you know what? Okay, so this is gonna be a, oh, no, wait, hold on. Okay, so set room, and then set room requires the room ID, right? Oh, set room ID. So you almost got it right. Set room ID, and then this is gonna be that ID. Okay, perfect. But, problem. Each of these, this can't run off of empty. So we need to make sure that you're returning a mutable reference to self. Just like that, which means in each of these, we need to return self. Oh, that would have been cool. Self. That's true. I can definitely do that. So there's I'll try to do that next time. Okay, so back to here. Now we can see, okay, we do custom builder new, we do set action, and then we can set the room ID. And then we're gonna want a like a build. So like a final build. So here, let's try it. So if I do a control equals, here's our options. So like set player, set player. That's it. Those are the 3 things that thinks it can do. None of those things are correct. I want to do pub function build. Take in mute self. And that's gonna be it. And okay, we're gonna return a result. Yes. Oh, it has to. I have to every time I have to do this to build. So result, custom message, custom message, custom message. I want it to be self. Wow, look at all these different stuff that that is like thinking that I want to do. I don't think any of these are actually correct. This one is closest. Okay, so we're gonna do result. Oh, actually, wait. You are correct with that. I forgot what we were doing here. In build, okay, so we're now just gonna create the custom message. So we're gonna create an okay custom message, where we're gonna have action is self.action.unwrap. Okay, so not gonna be quite that simple. So we do need to get the action out. Close. Actually, self.action. I kind of want to. Okay, this is. Okay. Let action equals if let some action then we're going to return this action into here. Otherwise, we're going to bail. Action is not set. That's what we want to do. Then, okay, we do custom message, action. Sure. And then the other thing is like we need the data. So the data is going to be this message data. But we can just give ownership of this. Data is self the data. Okay. Now, are you yelling at me because cannot move out of here? We're dying afterwards. Like, this is dead. Oh. Let's actually not take in a mutable reference to self. Let's take in mutable self, take ownership of it. And then that maybe makes this a little bit happier. Yeah, there we go. Okay, back to room. Dot build with a question mark. And now here's our custom message. And then, so we're going to, this message is going to be a custom message. So we're going to do a room dot broadcast to room, the message, question mark that. Cannot move out of a mutable reference. Move occurs because value is type message, custom builder, all. So where exactly? I want to take, okay, so we get new, we set action, set the build thing, and then build it. This thing returns the result of the custom message, but we start here with a new so we get a custom message builder, which then comes into this, which takes a mutable reference to it. And I think do I have to do this in multiple steps? Or maybe I'm just wrong and okay, so back to here. Maybe these don't. Oh. Maybe these just return self. And then these are just mute self. Yeah, that makes it happy. Okay, so that's how we're gonna do our builder. And then we build, which gives us a custom message. We send that off to here. Okay, so then we got our message out of here. For custom message, I want to prepare this for sending. So we're gonna have a method on message. So here's custom message. So let's have a impl for custom message. And I want this to be we want to convert this custom message into a message. Actually, can I derive that? Can I just use the into trait? So can I just impl into message for custom message. And then we want to return, it's going to be like the message text, I think. Which requires serializing this. We're going to have to unwrap, which is not the easiest, but, or not the best to do here, but we'll. So, okay. So first of all, it's going to be message text. Not exactly. None of those things. So in text, we're gonna do a Serde JSON. Wait, what were we gonna do? Serde JSON toString self. I think that is correct. Wait, I need to press tab. Then we do need to unwrap it. Yep. And then that's what we're returning. Okay. You are yelling at me because, oh wait. An implementation of from is preferred since it gives you into for free where the reverse isn't true. I don't want a from. We have a builder for that. So this is fine. Okay. So back to wait. Okay, there we go. Back to room here. I want to take this message, which is a custom message, and prepare it for sending. So, nope. I want to do let like raw message. Actually, we have into, so this is gonna be fine. Wait, I don't need to do any of that. We want to loop through all the players. Into is okay. So basically, I can do like so let thing, which is a, let's say a stir equal, actually no, it's string. String equals hello dot into. I can, that's fully legal. This is fully legal. So it's going to basically take this and run into to convert it into a string. So it's just a trait that allows me to have this into method on it. From allows me to do that entire thing where I do the string from. And it's like from can also give you into. It's like you can do both. That's what it sounds like. But I don't need a from for this, so into is on its own apparently I think is gonna be fine. Okay, so broadcasting to the room, we need to do the send. So for each of the senders, we're gonna loop through the players. Well, look at that. 4-player in mute self players. Okay. And we're going to send a message. Well, yes, that's actually what I want to do, but we kind of need to go to our player and implement that. So we have this sender here. So pub function send. Actually, I like this. Okay, so pub function send. We're going to take a message, which is, let's actually have this be a custom message. And then this is where we do that into. So this is close. Let's figure out if it, so I want to do a self.centered at send message into. But you don't know how to do that. Okay, so close. Self dot sender dot send message dot into. And then we do have to return a result, but we don't care what's in it. What are you upset about? No method name send. Oh, is it like unbounded or something like that? Oh, it's unbounded send. That's what it is. Unbounded send. And then this is going to be that message dot into. Okay, so back to room. Now we're going to do player dot send. We can just pass this message in and we're fine. Question mark. Use of move value. That is correct. So we need to clone this. But to have clone work for us, we need to go into custom message and implement clone. Okay. And messages, which means data, message data needs to implement clone too. Okay. So the question is this just going to work? And are we going to get it back? In our index here, we have this message coming back here. I don't think we're any more console logging that, so let's just put that back in. Console log message. Okay. So name, create the game. So line 77, here's this console log. And I got a message back, action create game, and the data, player name, null, but room ID is set to that. Okay. So I got the room ID. Now I know my own player name, so I don't really care about that one, but the room ID is really nice. Okay. That's a good sign. And you handled this just fine. There was no errors. We just got that like lovely debug going in there. But okay, we sent that back. Now the final part of like starting a game is I'm joining that game. So I need to move into the actual game here. So in our index here, which I need to be over here. We need this room code to be set at this time. So how do I want to deal with this? Now, when we receive the message back, we parse it, console log, and then we're dispatching based upon the action. Okay, so I think that's fine. Now this is incoming. Let's rename this to like incoming action. And we have this command to action. So if we reset this, I think it's create game. Yeah, create game. And this is then going to be probably handle create game. Handle create game. No. Don't like rewrite the entire. No. Okay, so this is gonna be handle create game. So we're gonna head back down here to handle create game. Commit dispatch, we get the event. We can then commit set message equals event.message. So we don't have this right now. So we maybe just say like game created. And dispatch handle join room. Okay, so then we're immediately joining a room. So let's go ahead and not do that. Boy, here. Yes, we'll just not do those. So if I just say, let's create the game, sending create game message. Then we get this back. We created the game. API, we don't need that anymore. Expect string as the type, but found undefined. I can't see where index line 77. Oh, dispatch, command to action, incoming action. Oh, because this is now action. There we go. Okay. So then I believe this comes down to here and wait. We have connected the server. Game created. Okay. So that worked. It committed out to change this to then like display that notification message. For us to then move into the room, we need to set the room code, which I believe is going to be in this data. So actually, we just need to send the data in, don't we? So in message here, I only need like message dot data. And this is like essentially, oh, this is join room. Create game. We're gonna have message data. Let's just console log this out to make sure it's what we think it is. Message data. There it is. Okay, player name and room ID. Now, specifically, we only really need the room ID, don't we? So, create. If I do room ID, actually, it would be like room ID like this, wouldn't it? Let's like make sure that this is room ID in here. And then for message, oh, because we don't know what this is. So never mind. Message data. So it's message data dot room ID. Okay. So we want to, if we do handle join, we don't have like join room set up for this. Join room is like we don't have that set up yet. But this thing works. So we can now handle join room, and we're gonna pass it in the message data. Handle join room. This is gonna be the message data. Actually, message. There you go. Message data. Oh, it doesn't do it there. Message data, and then this is room ID. And we dispatch. Okay. Now on a crate, we come into here. So we got added in our room. Now we need to make sure our room code ID is like displayed here properly. Now there's no cards, but that's all fine. Like the window is all here. Everything's looking good. So up at the top, let's make sure that we are displaying, let's see, the room ID. That is going to be in the top action bar, and we're going to want to pass in, okay. This is a top bar. There's going to be this action items on the right. So you're going to want this in here. And we're probably going to want you to be room ID if it exists, really. Yeah, I think that's all I would care about. I'm actually curious. So if I do test and like I do this again and like do test again. Okay, so I can just keep on adding these. Oh, that's nice. Okay, so we have this actions items. We're gonna want like a code. So the room code. Room code. And this is going to be an if, so props, we're going to have room code is going to be a number. Room code, and then we're going to if this. VF room code. So it's not going to be there, but once we get to this point, then in app, here's this here. So we're going to have a room code. We're going to need a computed property for the, oh, we have room code right here. This.store.state that room code. Okay. So room code, I think it was room code, right? Room code equals room code. And there it is. We need to make sure this is okay. It's fine when it's like a little bit larger. I'll worry about like, I don't even know what devices people are gonna look at this on. I suppose for our top view bar, I can like make you back to like 95. Maybe even 90. Okay. So then, okay, cool. So now I have that displaying here, and if we reset this, here you are at the beginning, say, hit the game, and then it displays. Okay, so we can create a game now. So let's go ahead and let's go ahead and clean up. Like, let's make sure that this is to our liking. Okay, so close you down here. Mark you as done. Then, okay, so in main state, I don't think we're gonna need to do any of this stuff. We're gonna be trying to not do a bunch of that things in main state anymore. We'll be doing those things in the other stuff. So right now we can only create a room and a player. Let's get rid of this debug too. We can always like recreate those if necessary. Okay, so I think this is good now. We've our main state is much smaller, and it's going to be calling into other things. Now, here we have this create game, and let's. I kind of feel like we can have this handle create game. Wait, can you figure this out? No. Handle create game. We're gonna have a mute self. And it's gonna create, so it's gonna do all this stuff. So we're gonna create a new player. So really we're gonna take in this custom message. So mute self. We're gonna take in the sender and the message. So message a custom message, and also a sender unbounded sender. Okay. We're also gonna have to return a result with nothing in it. And then we're gonna do these things. Okay, pass the message, pass it the sender, question mark, comma. Okay, that even further cleans it up. So we have these methods down here for like running them and then dispatching to like these other methods down here too. You managed to finally get a C library linked and working with Zig code. Nice. I forget about Zig code, but anytime you can get like those libraries working, it's always a good feeling. Okay, let's double check that things are still working. So far, so good. So you're done. Okay, so app.view. I don't know what exactly I want to change inside of here, so I think we're good. Our index, we do have a console log in here somewhere, which I don't. right here. I don't need it right now. Okay, so this should still be good too. I haven't figured out how I still want to like do this message yet. Right now we're just doing this thing here, using the lookup table, so we don't even have to use an if statement, which is nice. Okay. API. Right now it's just this one thing for sending out. We're going to continue to send out more things over time. So this is fine for right now. Actions. It's like we only have one action. That's fine. Rooms. This should be fine. So we create a new room and we broadcast the room as soon as we create it. That should be fine too. Now, okay, so we have this error, but I'm never going to do from for it. So I don't need to worry about it, but it's saying, hey, I can just implement this thing. So Warren Clippy from over into. Now, and no. Warren. Clippy. From over into. There we go. Wait, it's allow, I think. Yeah, not warn. I don't want it to warn me. I want it to allow me to do that. Okay. Okay, yeah. This thing. Actually surprised that it didn't actually auto fix that. So we want that just to be action like that. You don't need to be mutable. Okay. No other problems in here. You don't think Zig has very many native libraries just yet, but their team seems to be people who make those bindings. Oh, that's nice. That's always nice to have like the team actually actively working on those type of bindings. Rust FFI is one thing you have no desire to try. I guess like if you do WebAssembly, there's some like FFI things to do, but like, I don't know, it feels like it doesn't feel like FFI. Caleb, you're gonna head off. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me this morning. I guess it's morning for both of us. A little bit earlier for you though. So go have a good sleep. All right, so this file I think is good. Player, I don't think we have anything we need in here. And a README. Okay, so our README is just basically, you know, showing off what we're doing. We don't need to change anything there. Okay, our big library. So we are going to be redoing all of this stuff later. In fact, we don't need to do that here because we're handling incoming messages. Everything's going to be handled inside of there. Now we're receiving from the sender here and then sending out to that person. So it's actually pretty nice. Like all of that other stuff is set up. So all this boilerplate will stay the same. Okay. And then our to-do, sort of like that set up for us. And we have, I want to invite, I want to start the game. Okay. So it's all done. No errors, no warnings, which means let's just amend. And okay, we're good with that. Okay, that was